Are you still paying with one of these? Millions of us are, but I was challenged today on why I'm using 1970s technology in 2023. How we move and save and store money and access credit has never been easier or safer or more accessible for millions of people. Mainly down to mobile wallets such as these and technology. That's why Transform Talks, the thought leadership interview series, has come here to Shanghai and Huawei's Intelligent Finance Summit to explore the digital transformation of banking. Brett King is one of the summit's keynote speakers. He's a futurist, podcaster and best-selling author of Banking 4.0. So, carefully hiding my credit card, I asked him whether this was a golden age for the banking customer.
Financial inclusion has been a tremendous boon, largely due to the smartphone, due to the mobile phone. We've brought in 1.4 billion people into the financial economy for the first time just in the last decade or so, which is phenomenal progress. Considering that the 100 or so years before that, 500 years before that, we'd got to approximately half the population, but half the population was still excluded. So there's still about 1 billion people or so that need to be included in the financial system today, and hopefully we can get that technology. Mainly now it's about digital inclusion. But in terms of the golden age, we suddenly have the technology here with AI and so forth to provide a bank account that can actually help you manage your money, a smart bank account if you like. So the early wallet systems that we see today, like Alipay and WeChat Pay and Paytm in India and Kakao in South Korea and so forth, these will evolve into AI-based bank accounts that really help us with our day-to-day money management. And I think this overall is probably the most positive development in banking that we've seen, certainly in the last couple of hundred years.
Just expand on that. So AI, what is going to be the impact? Because everyone is talking about AI for a variety of reasons. For banking specifically, what will that give customers and banks?
So right now we're in a phase where we're using technology to reduce friction, making the accessibility of financial services easier. So that sort of started in the internet era. Faster delivery and more ubiquitous delivery of financial services. But what we're doing right now with ChatGPT and technologies like that is we're sort of creating this advice layer. This is going to be a trend we're going to see with banks around the world, using AI as to give advice, augmenting human advice with AI. So when you look at your portfolio as an investment situation, the financial advisor will say his advice is powered by AI. You go to the doctor, they'll say the same. So we will get into this period where we rely more and more heavily on artificial intelligence to give us the best advice.
And personalised advice.
Personalised, as well. Yeah, and that's the thing is an AI will be able to be trained on our personal behaviour, our personal situation. And so when we get advice between our personal AI and a bank's AI negotiating, if you like, it'll be highly targeted, highly contextual, much more personalised than we could ever deliver with a human. You have to be quite confident as a CEO to say, now, we know this future's coming, let's get ahead of it. And so, it really comes down to that embracing of this future and the ability to adapt, and that's individually and as a corporation.
Ability to adapt to one item particularly that you touched on in your keynote just now, smart glasses. How will they impact banking, do you think, in 10 years, 15? Or actually, on what time frame do you think?
Well, so this is the next major personal electronics or consumer device. Once you now have these smart glasses with computing, you have to think about the way computers fit in our life very differently. So you're not going to have programs or apps like we have today. Like you won't have a mobile banking app that pops up on your screen and you click it like you do the app. You'll have these chunks of functionality or moments of experiences where the smart glasses look at the context of the situation, interpret your need, and use the API or the financial services layer to provide you with a solution, whether that's access to credit or helping you understand the impact of a spending decision or whatever that may be. So this is highly personalized, in the moment contextual solutions based on sort of a whole set of technologies that we've been developing. But in that world, if you're still thinking about issuing a plastic card to make payments,
or checkbooks,
you're really lost, because this is a completely new paradigm. The thing with that is that banks in this era of smart glasses are going to be so different from the banks of like the 1990s and the 2000s, we won't recognize them. You won't have any product departments. You won't have a credit card department or a savings department or a mortgage department, because they're essentially embedded experiences in this smart world.
Will you have anyone except technologists then? What's the point of having all these banking advisors and skills?
Well, I think you will still need some legacy knowledge base, just purely because if you're translating, the old systems and processes into the new way, you need to have that, figure out where the old technologies sit and so forth to do that translation layer. But ultimately, by the time we get to 2050, most of bankings will run like a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, an AI-based corporation. And you may set policy and so forth in line with regulators in the code base, but, and there may be a human layer to that. And there still may be some face of banking, in the way we have, but the need for branches, the need for signatures, all of that will have obviously long disappeared.